Good morning.
Wow, looky there. Yeah, I guess there's been a lot of political animal accusations going around here lately from the governor's office. I guess you're just demonstrating your animal-like nature.
Well, I mean, I think it's important that if you're a political animal, you act like one. I didn't realize I was a political animal. Did you realize that you were a political animal?
No, I didn't. I mean, I thought I was just telling the truth about most things.
Hey, Oklahoma. Hey, Governor Kevin Stitt here. Hey, just wanted to set the record straight because I've seen a bunch of stuff that's not true about Kevin Wallace, and I wanted to let you know exactly what the truth is. Kevin Wallace supported me when we ran a bill to ban foreign nationals from owning farmland in Oklahoma. You know me, I'm not going to let that happen. So we passed that in 2023. You can check the vote. Wallace voted for that. So to say that he's for communist China is simply not true. It's just those people that are the political animals that are trying to take him out and not send him back to the Capitol. And so make sure you send him back. Get out and vote on August 27th for Kevin Wallace for state representative. He stands with me. I also banned WHO. You saw President Biden administration talk about the World Health Organization and sending our sovereignty to them. Me, along with 23 other governors, said we will not comply with that. We will protect Oklahoma's, our interests, our freedoms. Kevin Wallace believes like we do. And so don't believe some of those negative ads and those techniques from the other side that are just trying to take out a true conservative. Join me in supporting Kevin Wallace and tell all your friends, your neighbors, your people at church to get out and vote for Kevin Wallace on August 27th. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Just to clarify, that was on Wallace's page, who's the opponent of Mr. Jim Shaw that we're going to have on the program today.
Legislators will pass bills and they sound great. They have great titles on them. But if you actually read the bills, they don't do anything that they say.
This particular bill that you're talking about, let's walk through a little bit of the history of this. So back in 2023, Senate Bill 212. So this is what Wallace and Stitt and everybody are talking about, is kind of the Senate Bill 212, which was authored and passed, but that is to ban foreign national or Chinese ownership of land out here. Okay. But it fails to accomplish its goals because there's absolutely no enforcement mechanisms. And you talked about this in the early part of the show. With any bill, it doesn't matter what the bill is trying to achieve. If you lack enforcement mechanisms, people aren't going to follow the orders if there's no repercussions and there's no penalties for it, period. I mean, that's just, you see that
human nature.
It's just human nature. So there was that in 2023 that they keep bringing up. Well, my opponent voted for this and was in favor of this and what have you. Okay, well, it doesn't really achieve anything, right? So then in 2024, recognizing the failings of Senate Bill 212, and there was a subsequent AG opinion, by the way, on Senate Bill 212 that basically stripped any kind of enforceability out of it. Senate Bill 1705 was then generated to basically try to clean up the language in 212 and make it a little bit more meaningful. However, that bill completely lacked, suspiciously, any sort of enforcement mechanisms. Okay. And that's where there's, sitting senators that spoke out against that, saying this really doesn't do anything.
Against bills. As a matter of fact, when this bill first came through, I was a co-author on the bill and voted no. I was the lone no on the floor that day. And the reason why is because there was still conversation going on. I was curious to see where the bill was going. But I will tell you this, I was extremely frustrated because a bill defining what bona fide resident is necessary to understand it, because that's the wording used in the affidavit. And if we do not define what bona fide resident is right now, the gate is still kind of pretty much wide open. There are some limitations here, but until we define what a bona fide resident is, the gate is wide open. And so the necessity to have that definition put in to our law is a necessity, not something we need to just look at a little bit later. And we had it in this language and it was removed as it came out onto this floor. And so I voted no quietly out of respect, because I wanted to see how the language changed. And the language did not change for the better. The language has changed for the worse. We have weakened this system even more, and we still do not have a definition of what a bona fide resident must be to own land in your state. The way we had it worded was a bona fide resident is a legal permanent resident of this of this country. That's not a difficult thing to ask for people if they want to own land in this country to be a legal permanent resident of this country. And so that's the simple ask that I had. And here we stand today, opening the floodgates wider for foreign nationals to own land in this state. And so it's not often that I rise to come against a bill like this, but I'm coming against this one now, because we cannot allow the floodgate to be open. And I'm asking you to vote no, and let's come back next year and work on this as we need to next year. But let's not open the floodgate any further on the foreign ownership of land.
The argument about Senate Bill 212 or 1705, if those were being effective, we would not be seeing continual foreign ownership of land out here, but we are, and they're still here, and that's still happening. So meanwhile, House Bill 3125, that was introduced this last session. It would have not only had the teeth to criminalize existing or future ownership of foreign entities owning land out here, but it also would have required divestment of existing holdings within 2 years. That passed unanimously through one of Wallace's subcommittees, went up to his committee, and died. Never got hurt. Now, I have asked point blank multiple times, why did he kill that bill? And House Bill 3125 continues to not be included in any response by him, by the governor in his video, and quite frankly, there's no excuse why that bill didn't pass.